Be prepared. Tomorrow changes everything. I need you to stop what you're doing right now and listen to me, because what I'm about to tell you is not something you can afford to ignore. March 15, 2026. At exactly 3:30 p.m., a cosmic doorway opens that hasn't appeared in over 2,500 years. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't clickbait. This is the Iris Gate. And if you've been feeling like your life is stuck in a loop of financial anxiety, unrecognized effort, and exhausting patience, this moment was designed specifically for you. Most people will wake up on March 15 with no idea they're standing at the threshold of their destiny. They'll scroll through their phones, complain about their bills, and let the most powerful manifestation portal of their lifetime pass them by without a second thought. But you're already feeling it, aren't you? That restless energy coursing through your body, the sudden urge to act on something you've been avoiding for months, maybe even years. The dreams that feel more real than your waking life. That's not anxiety. That's your soul recognizing what's coming. Your encounter with this video right now is no coincidence. Out of millions of possible moments, your attention was drawn here, to this exact vibration of words and energy. That is alignment. That is the universe quietly guiding you toward a moment your soul was prepared to receive. Because starting tomorrow, the cosmic architecture of reality itself begins to shift, and those who are sensitive enough to feel it, those who are brave enough to act on it, will experience a reversal of fortune so profound that their entire life trajectory changes. Let me be completely honest with you. I've studied astrology for over 2 decades. I've watched countless transits come and go. I've seen people transform under powerful alignments, and I've seen others miss their moment because they hesitated. But what's happening on March 15 is different. This isn't just another transit. This is what ancient astrologers called a karmic accelerator. A moment when the universe stops whispering and starts demanding. A point in time when destiny doesn't just knock on your door. It kicks it wide open and pulls you through whether you're ready or not. Here's what makes this so extraordinary. On March 15, Venus, the planet of abundance, beauty, and magnetic attraction, aligns with Mars, the warrior planet of action and courage, at the exact degree of the North Node in Pisces. If you don't speak astrology, let me translate that into plain language. The North Node represents your soul's destiny, the evolutionary path you're meant to walk in this lifetime. When Venus and Mars, two of the most powerful personal planets, collide with that destiny point, it creates an energetic explosion. It's like the universe is physically pushing you toward your purpose, and the force behind that push is so strong that resistance becomes almost impossible. But here's where it gets even more intense. This is happening in Pisces, the most mystical, spiritual, intuitive sign of the entire zodiac. Pisces is the realm where the veil between the visible and invisible worlds becomes paper thin. It's the energy of surrender, faith, and divine timing. When destiny activates in Pisces, it doesn't arrive through logic or strategy. It arrives through synchronicity, through dreams, through sudden knowing that defies explanation. And that's exactly what's been happening to you lately, isn't it? You've been having vivid dreams. Dreams that feel prophetic, like they're showing you glimpses of a future that hasn't arrived yet. You've been noticing strange coincidences, seeing repeating numbers, hearing songs that seem to carry messages meant specifically for you. You've been feeling this inexplicable pull towards something new, something bigger, even though you can't quite articulate what it is. That's not your imagination. That's your subconscious mind receiving downloads from the cosmic field, preparing you for what's about to unfold. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too good to be true. How can a single day change everything? And I get it. We've all been burned by false promises, by motivational speakers who tell us to just think positive while our bank accounts stay empty. But this isn't about positive thinking. This is about cosmic timing. And cosmic timing is the difference between planting a seed in winter and planting it in spring. You can have the best intentions, the strongest work ethic, the most beautiful vision, but if the timing isn't right, nothing grows. The iris gate is the moment when the soil becomes fertile, when the conditions align, when the universe itself conspires to help you succeed. Let me explain what the iris gate actually is, because this isn't just a poetic metaphor. In Greek mythology, Iris was the goddess of the rainbow, the messenger between heaven and earth. She built a bridge of light that connected the divine realm with the human world, allowing blessings, messages, and miracles to flow between the two. The iris gate represents that same bridge, but on a cosmic scale. It's the moment when the energetic pathways between your current reality and your highest potential become fully open, allowing abundance, healing, and transformation to pour through. This gate has been closed for 2,500 years. The last time the North Node was in Pisces with this exact Venus-Mars conjunction was during the height of the Roman Empire, a time of unprecedented wealth, expansion, and cultural transformation. And now, after millennia of waiting, it's opening again, not for everyone, not for those who ignore the signs, but for those who are awake enough to recognize the moment and brave enough to step through. And here's what you need to understand about this particular alignment. Venus in Pisces is exalted, meaning it operates at its highest frequency. Venus governs money, relationships, beauty, and magnetic attraction. When it's exalted in Pisces, it doesn't just bring abundance, it brings divine abundance, the kind that feels like grace, like the universe is finally rewarding you for all the years you've struggled in silence. Mars in Pisces, on the other hand, represents the spiritual warrior, the person who has the courage to surrender control and trust the invisible current. When these two forces collide at the North Node, the result is a cosmic mandate. You are being called to claim your destiny, and the universe is giving you the fire, the magnetism, and the divine support to do it. But here's the part that most people miss. This isn't just about receiving, it's about releasing. The iris gate only opens for those who are willing to let go of the old story, the old identity, the old limitations that have kept them small. Pisces is the sign of dissolution. It dissolves boundaries, dissolves ego, dissolves the illusion of separation. And right now, as we approach March 15, you're being asked to dissolve the belief that you're not worthy of abundance. You're being asked to dissolve the fear that keeps you playing small. You're being asked to dissolve the story that says you have to suffer to deserve success. I want you to think about something for a moment. How long have you been waiting for your life to change? How many years have you put in the work, stayed patient, kept your head down, and told yourself that eventually things would get better? And yet here you are, still struggling with the same financial anxiety, still feeling unrecognized, still wondering when your turn will come. That's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because the timing wasn't right. But the timing is right now. The cosmic clock has struck the hour, and the door is open. Now, I need to be very clear about something. The iris gate opens on March 15 at 3:30 p.m. But the energy doesn't just spike and disappear. This is the beginning of a wave that will carry forward for weeks, reshaping your reality in real time. However, the exact moment of the alignment is when the portal is at its widest, when the energetic current is at its strongest. This is why the actions you take on March 15, specifically around that time, will determine how much of this cosmic gift you're able to receive. And here's where I need you to pay very close attention, because there are 3 zodiac signs that are positioned to receive the most powerful, life-altering blessings from this alignment. If you're one of these signs, Sun, Moon, or Rising, The universe is opening a door for you that won't stay open forever. But even if you're not one of these three signs, this energy will still affect you. It will still create opportunities. It will still ask you to step into a new version of yourself. The difference is that for these three signs, the transformation will be undeniable, immediate, and impossible to ignore. The first sign is Pisces. If you're a Pisces, this alignment is happening directly in your first house, the house of identity, physical presence, and how the world sees you. This is not a subtle shift. This is a complete rebirth. You've spent so much of your life playing the background character, the empath, the helper, the one who absorbs everyone else's emotions and carries their weight. You're used to being invisible, to blending in, to making yourself smaller so others feel more comfortable. But that version of you is dying on March 15. And honestly, it needs to. The Iris Gate is handing you the opportunity to step fully into your power, without apology, to claim your space, to be seen, to be bold, to finally prioritize yourself without drowning in guilt about it. Mars entering your sign on March 2 already started this process. You might have noticed a sudden surge of energy, a magnetic quality you haven't felt in a long time. People are looking at you differently. Opportunities are appearing out of nowhere. That's not random. That's the universe physically pushing you into the spotlight. And now, with Venus joining Mars at the North Node directly in your sign, this is the moment when your entire life trajectory shifts. You might get an opportunity to start something new that's entirely yours. A creative project, a business, a completely different path. Or maybe it's about finally asserting yourself in a relationship or situation where you've been letting yourself disappear. Maybe it's about making a decision about your appearance, your health, your physical presence in the world. And because Mercury is retrograde right now and will conjoin Mars on the 15th, this opportunity might involve revisiting something from your past, a dream you abandoned, an identity you let go of, a version of yourself you thought was lost. But here's the critical part. You have to act. You have to embody that spiritual warrior energy. You can't wait for permission. You can't spend weeks overthinking whether you're ready. The cosmic timing is now. And here's the beautiful part. Jupiter, your ruling planet, just stationed direct in Cancer on March 10, and it's going to trine Mars on March 21. What that means is that the bold, terrifying leap you take on March 15, the universe is going to catch you. It's going to expand what you create. It's going to reward your courage with luck, with emotional fulfillment, with this overwhelming sense that you're finally on the right path. The second sign is Virgo. While Pisces is experiencing this rebirth of self, you're experiencing something equally profound. But in the opposite direction, the Venus-Mars North Node conjunction is happening in your 7th house, the house of partnerships, committed relationships, marriage, contracts with other people. And I know this might feel scary, because the 7th house is where you meet the other. It's where you're forced to let someone else into your perfectly organized world. Here's what's really going on. You've been hosting the South Node for over a year now. And the South Node represents what you need to release. For you, that's been about releasing the need for absolute control, the perfectionism, the over-analyzing, the compulsion to have every detail of your life mapped out before you make a move. The lunar eclipse in your sign on March 3 already started clearing this out. It emptied the vessel. And now, the North Node in Pisces is delivering the gift. But the gift requires vulnerability. The Iris Gate is opening a relational portal for you. Someone might be entering your life, or someone already in your life is about to become infinitely more significant. And this isn't the kind of relationship you can logic your way through. This isn't about compatibility checklists or making sure everything makes practical sense. This is about taking a leap of faith into emotional surrender, into trusting someone even when you can't control the outcome, into allowing yourself to be seen in all your messy, imperfect humanity. And I know that's terrifying for you. Your instinct is to protect yourself by staying analytical, by keeping a safe distance, by never fully letting your guard down. But the universe is asking you to put down the spreadsheet, to stop micromanaging your heart, to risk making a mistake in favor of being fully present. Now, this could also manifest as the opposite. If you're in a partnership that's fundamentally out of alignment with your soul's mission, Mars has a blade, and sometimes the fated action is severance, a decisive, clean cut that removes an obstacle to your growth. Either way, the theme is the same. You're being asked to trust something bigger than your analytical mind, to move from the head to the heart. And with Jupiter going direct in your 11th house of community and future hopes, I really believe this is about finding spiritual connection and devotion, not just practical partnership. The third sign is Gemini. If you've been feeling this insane pressure lately, like the entire world is waiting for you to make a move, there's a reason for that. The Venus-Mars North Node conjunction is happening at the very top of your chart. Your 10th house, the house of career, public reputation, legacy, authority. This is the most visible part of your entire chart. And Mars hitting the destiny point here shows that's not subtle. That's the universe physically pushing you onto the public stage. Here's what's happening. You've probably been stuck in analysis paralysis for a while now. Every possible career path seems interesting. Every option has merit. But nothing feels like the absolute certain choice. So you've been waiting, gathering more information, weighing more options, staying in motion but not actually moving forward. And the universe is done waiting. The Iris Gate is opening a career portal for you that demands you stop thinking and start doing. You might get offered a sudden promotion, a leadership role you didn't expect, a chance to step into authority during a crisis. Or maybe it's the realization that the path you've been resisting, the one that seems too big, too scary, too visible, is actually your calling. What makes this so powerful for you is that Gemini naturally wants to do everything. You want to keep your options open. You want to run multiple races at once. But the energy of this alignment is incredibly focused. You have to choose one race and pour all your energy into it. And I know that feels uncomfortable. I know it feels limiting. But here's the thing. By scattering your energy, you've been preventing yourself from actually breaking through. The fated action required right now is singular focus. It's blocking out the peripheral noise and committing to one direction with absolute determination. Because Mars demands autonomy. The North Node dictates destiny. Combined in your 10th house, you're being called to lead, not follow. To step boldly into visibility. To build confidence through the sheer act of forward motion rather than waiting for absolute clarity before you move. And here's what I really want you to trust. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. You don't need all the answers before you start. You just need to take the first step with courage. And when you do, the universe is going to meet you there. Now, whether you're one of these three signs or not are your sons, there's something happening on March 15 that affects every single person watching this video. And it has to do with the specific time I mentioned earlier. 3:30 p.m. This isn't arbitrary. This is the exact moment when Venus and Mars reach their perfect conjunction at the North Node. In astrology, we call this a seer's emi, when a planet is in the heart of another celestial body. But this is even more rare because we have two planets simultaneously activating the destiny point at the same degree, the same minute, the same second. What this creates is a cosmic window. A brief period of time when the energetic membrane between your current reality and your highest potential becomes so thin that manifestation happens almost instantaneously. Think of it like this. Most of the time, when you set an intention or make a wish, that energy has to travel through layers of resistance, doubt, karmic debris, collective consciousness. It's like trying to send a signal through a thick fog. But at 3:30 p.m. on March 15, that fog lifts completely. The signal goes straight through. Your intentions, your desires, your soul's deepest longings, they bypass all the usual obstacles and land directly in the field of creation. This is why the actions you take at this exact time matter so much. And I'm going to give you a very specific ritual to perform, something that will anchor this cosmic energy into your physical reality. But before I do that, I need to explain something that most people don't understand about manifestation. Manifestation isn't just about thinking positive thoughts or visualizing what you want. That's part of it, but it's not the whole picture. True manifestation requires three elements: intention, emotion, and action. You need to know what you want. You need to feel it as if it's already real. And you need to take a physical step that signals to the universe you're ready to receive it. The problem is that most people get stuck on the first two. They set intentions, they visualize, they feel the emotions, but then they wait. They wait for a sign. They wait for permission. They wait for the perfect moment. And while they're waiting, the energy dissipates. The window closes. The opportunity passes. The iris gate is different because it doesn't just open the door. It pushes you through it. The energy is so strong that inaction becomes almost painful. You'll feel this restless urgency, this sense that if you don't move now, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And here's what I've observed over 2 decades of studying these transits. The people who experience the most dramatic transformations during powerful alignments are not the ones who had everything figured out. They're the ones who were willing to act despite uncertainty. They're the ones who took the leap even though they couldn't see the landing. They're the ones who trusted the invisible current and let it carry them forward. Because that's what Pisces energy demands. Surrender. Not passive surrender, not giving up, but active surrender. The kind of surrender that says, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I trust that the universe has my back, and I'm going to move forward anyway. Now, let me tell you about something that happened during the last major Pisces alignment. It was 2006. The last time the North Node was in Pisces. I had a client, let's call her Sarah, who was stuck in a corporate job she hated. She'd been there for 15 years, climbing the ladder, doing everything right, but she felt dead inside. She had this dream of becoming a healer, of opening her own wellness center. But every time she thought about it, fear would shut her down. What if I fail? What if I can't pay my bills? What if people think I'm crazy? Then, during a powerful Venus-Mars conjunction in Pisces, something shifted. She had a dream where she saw herself standing in a beautiful space filled with light, helping people heal. And when she woke up, she felt this overwhelming certainty that she had to act. She didn't have a business plan. She didn't have savings. She didn't have any guarantees. But she gave her notice that day. And within 6 months, she had opened her wellness center. Within a year, she was booked solid. Within 5 years, she had expanded to 3 locations and was making more money than she ever did in corporate. When I asked her what made her take that leap, she said something I'll never forget. She said, I realized that the fear of staying stuck was greater than the fear of the unknown. And that's what the iris gate does. It makes the cost of inaction so unbearable that courage becomes your only option. But here's where I need to give you a warning. Because not everyone who feels this energy will respond to it correctly. And the difference between those who transform and those who self-sabotage often comes down to one thing: how they handle the test. Because the universe always tests you before it rewards you. Always. And the test usually comes in the form of doubt, fear, or external resistance. On March 14, exactly 1 day after the Venus-Mars conjunction begins building, Mars forms a harsh 90-degree square to Black Moon Lilith in Gemini. If you don't know what Black Moon Lilith represents, it's your shadow, your rage, your exile, the parts of you that were rejected, suppressed, demonized. In Gemini, it's specifically about your voice, the truths you weren't allowed to speak, the anger you swallowed to stay safe, the authenticity you buried to fit in. When Mars squares Lilith the day after activating your destiny, all that suppressed material comes roaring to the surface. You might feel sudden, overwhelming anger. You might want to lash out, to attack, to burn bridges. You might hear yourself saying things you never thought you'd say. This is the test. This is where the universe checks if you're really ready for the path you just claimed. Because if you act out of unhealed rage, if you let the shadow hijack the destiny path, you risk destroying everything you just activated. The key is to witness the shadow without becoming it. Feel the anger, acknowledge it, honor it, but don't let it dictate your actions. Don't send that scorching message. Don't blow up that relationship. Don't sabotage yourself out of spite. The rage is valid. The wound is real. But acting from that wound isn't the same as acting from your destiny. Hold space for both. Let the shadow speak, but don't let it steer the ship. If you can navigate March 14 without self-destructing, you've passed the initiation. You've proven to the universe and to yourself that you're strong enough to hold this new timeline. And then something beautiful happens. On March 17, Mercury retrogrades back over the North Node itself, giving you one more flash of clarity, one more download about the path forward. Mercury has been retrograde since February 25, scrambling your thoughts, making it impossible to think straight, dissolving the boundaries of logic. But when it crosses the destiny point again, it's like the fog suddenly lifts and you see the entire map laid out in front of you. This is when the pieces come together. This is when the confusion clears. This is when you finally understand why everything had to happen the way it did. And then, on March 20, the spring equinox, the astrological new year, Mercury stations direct at 8 degrees Pisces, the exact degree of the Venus-Mars North Node conjunction. When Mercury goes direct on the scene of the transformation, the mental clarity you've been searching for finally arrives. You're not the same person you were 2 weeks ago. You stepped through the portal. You became someone new. And now your mind catches up with your soul's new direction. But here's what makes this entire sequence so powerful. It's not just about one day. It's about a wave of energy that builds, peaks, and then integrates over the course of 2 weeks. March 15 is the ignition point, the moment when the cosmic door swings open. But the days leading up to it and the days following it are all part of the same transformative process. This is why I keep emphasizing that you need to pay attention to what's happening in your life right now. Today, this week, the signs are already appearing. The synchronicities are already unfolding. Your intuition is already guiding you toward the actions you need to take. And if you're still not sure what those actions are, let me give you some guidance. First, look at where Pisces falls in your natal chart. If you don't know your chart, you can pull it up for free online. Find the house that contains Pisces, and that's the area of life where the iris gate is opening for you. If it's your first house, it's about identity and self-expression. If it's your second house, it's about money and self-worth. If it's your 7th house, it's about relationships and partnerships. If it's your 10th house, it's about career and public reputation. Each house represents a different domain of experience, and the iris gate is activating that specific area for transformation. Second, pay attention to your dreams. I cannot stress this enough. Pisces is the sign of the subconscious, and when powerful alignments happen in Pisces, the dream world becomes a direct communication channel with the divine. If you've been having vivid dreams, write them down. Look for symbols, recurring themes, emotional messages. Your subconscious is trying to tell you something, and the more you listen, the clearer the guidance becomes. Third, Notice what keeps coming up in your thoughts. Is there a person you can't stop thinking about? A project you keep returning to? A place you feel drawn to visit? These aren't random mental loops. They're breadcrumbs from your soul, leading you toward your destiny. The universe speaks through repetition. When the same thought, the same feeling, the same desire keeps appearing, that's not obsession. That's direction. Fourth, watch for external signs. Synchronicities, unexpected encounters, messages that seem to arrive at exactly the right moment. The universe has a way of arranging circumstances to guide you when you're on the right path. And during the iris gate, those signs become impossible to ignore. You might run into someone you haven't seen in years who has exactly the information you need. You might overhear a conversation that answers a question you've been asking. You might see a billboard, a book title, a social media post that feels like it was written specifically for you. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. And fifth, trust the pull. If you feel called to do something, even if it doesn't make logical sense, even if you can't explain why, trust it. Pisces doesn't operate through logic. It operates through faith. And the iris gate is asking you to have faith in the invisible current that's guiding you forward. This doesn't mean being reckless. It doesn't mean ignoring practical considerations. But it does mean giving yourself permission to follow your intuition, even when your rational mind is screaming at you to play it safe. Now, let me give you the most important piece of guidance I can offer. The ritual you need to perform at 3:30 p.m. on March 15. This is not optional. This is not something you can skip and hope the energy finds you anyway. The iris gate opens whether you walk through it or not. But if you want to consciously harness this cosmic gift, if you want to anchor it into your physical reality, you need to create a sacred moment that signals to the universe you are ready to receive. Here's what you're going to do. At exactly 3:30 p.m. on March 15, wherever you are in the world, stop everything. I don't care if you're at work, if you're in a meeting, if you're driving. Find a way to pause for 5 minutes. Go to a bathroom. Step outside. Sit in your car. Create a pocket of sacred space. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, release the old story. Release the belief that you're not worthy. Release the fear that's been holding you back. Release the identity of the person who struggles and suffers. Then, with your eyes still closed, place your hand over your heart and speak this declaration out loud. I am ready. I release all resistance. I open myself to receive the abundance that is my birthright. I trust the universe to guide me. I trust myself to follow. I am the spiritual warrior. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I claim my destiny now. Say it with conviction. Say it like you mean it. Say it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. This declaration is your contract with the cosmos. It's your signature on the energetic